Whether you're a social media influencer or you're digging in coal mine, you're still putting in work and you're still putting in labor and you deserve to be compensated.
In January, we told you about complaints by more than a dozen influencers who say they were never paid for their online promotion of the Utah-based company Just Meats.
I share content on quick and easy meals.
Since that story aired, we've been hearing from former employees of the meat subscription service.
I want to be paid what I'm owed, and other than that, I don't need anything else from them.
I'm Fox 13 investigative reporter Taylor Stevens. Those employees tell me they also haven't been paid, in some cases for thousands of dollars of work since they were furloughed late last year, and have filed claims with the Utah Labor Commission for those lost wages.
I'm Zachary and Nay, and I worked at Just Meats as a customer experience specialist.
When he started at Just Meats last February, Zachary Nay says the job appealed to him primarily because of the quick commute.
And when I Googled it, it was like meal subscription. I was like, oh, that's cool. I've seen that all over the place. Like it's a kind of a big new trend or fad to have some kind of meal subscription.
The pay was decent and he liked his direct supervisor. But by summer, he said the cracks were beginning to show. In August, Nay found out his employer-sponsored insurance plan had been terminated, right as he was scheduled to go in for a twice-yearly infusion to treat his multiple sclerosis.
And so I had to put off getting my injections for about a month later than I would have had to.
That delay before he regained coverage, he says, worsened his symptoms, which include brain fog, slurred speech, and lower back and leg pain.
That symptom is always kind of with me, hence my cane. The longer I go without the infusion, that stuff gets harder, so the pain gets worse.
Then, Thanksgiving week, Just Meats told Nay and other employees they were being furloughed until December, which turned into January.
Then after that, they just said, oh, you won't be returning to work. The furlough is going to be in effect indefinitely until further notice.
Just Meats' owner, Jody Rookstool, did not respond to a request for comment for this story. Neither did an attorney who previously represented Just Meats in court. But in a statement to Fox 13 News in early December, the company said it had, quote, temporarily ceased operations due to financial hardship and was working to secure additional funding that will allow us to reopen, satisfy our obligations, and continue providing our coveted meat products to our loyal customer base. In the meantime, Nay and other Just Meats employees tell Fox 13 they still haven't received their last paychecks.
The last pay period I worked about 96 hours. And I haven't been paid for that. It's about $2,500.
My name is Greg Foster, and I was the senior copywriter on the creative team at Just Meats.
Greg Foster is in a similar situation.
So I'm owed 3 weeks of back pay that still hasn't been fulfilled. Doing the math, like about $5,500. Yeah. Like it's, you know, it's not a staggering amount of money, but it's money that I could really use, especially during the holidays.
Without it, Foster says he's had to put some bills on credit cards to get by.
You can't go to the bank if you have a mortgage and give them your furlough notice and all of a sudden everyone, you know, give you a thumbs up and say it's okay.
Integrity's lost.
Nay recently started a new job, but says the unpaid wages from Just Meats have put him behind financially. Having that money in the bank, he says, would be a breath of fresh air.
It would help me to pay off the rest of the balance that I still owe with my property management company for my rent. It would help me restock up on my food and groceries and actually have to be able to actually purchase groceries right now, because essentially I've just been using local food shelters to help.
What makes the situation even more frustrating was learning that Just Meats' owner, Jody Rookstool, has a line of creditors pursuing him. Rookstool and his other now shuttered business ventures, a fast casual restaurant chain called Feastbox and a meal subscription service called Quick Fresh, have faced more than a dozen lawsuits in Utah. The Fox 13 Investigates team recently discovered that Rookstool has also faced claims of unpaid debts related to those businesses in Illinois, Tennessee, New York, and Florida.
It's employees, it's vendors, it's staffing agencies.
In addition to complaints of broken lease agreements and short-term loans that were allegedly never returned, a lawsuit filed in a Chicago court by U.S. Foods claims Just Meats never paid for around $1.2 million worth of meat products it received.
It's a laundry list of people who've been stiffed. I don't know the total number of debt. I don't know those numbers, but I do know their significance.
It all adds up to around $6.5 million in allegedly unpaid debts, according to a Fox 13 Investigates review of court documents.
That information was never given to any of us.
Both Ney and Foster say they filed wage claims with the state of Utah, which requires employees to be paid within 24 hours or their next regular payday, depending on the circumstances of the separation. They hope to receive the money they say they're owed soon, so they can settle their own debts and put their time at Just Meats behind them.
I understand, like, if the business fails, happens. This is America. This is capitalism. But I'm under the impression that you get paid for a hard day's work. And that's what I would like to see.
Taylor Stevens, Fox 13 News, Utah.